Family physician Dr. Jen Caudle is here with her professional opinion. Dr. Caudle, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Jeanette. It's good to see you.
I was looking at your video on Instagram, and you were pretty, you had some strong words, I would say understandably so, about these gummies and the message that it's sending. So first, let's start, for those who aren't familiar, what is it that Kourtney Kardashian is selling here?
So I believe she has a whole line of products, but in particular, there's one sort of a gummy for vaginal health, as you mentioned. Some of the suggested claims are that it helps the overall vaginal health of your vagina, that it may help with freshness and all sorts of other things. There are a number of claims that these gummies seem to make, but I have a lot of issues with this, Jeanette. I really, really do, and I don't know. I'll let you lead this conversation because I have a lot of thoughts about this.
I would say your issue and a lot of other medical experts, it's really just the fundamental part of all of this, which is targeting something that shouldn't really be a problem, right?
Yeah, that really is not a problem, right? So I call these vanity supplements, and it's, in my opinion, it's a little bit of medicalization. In other words, there's an overall message here that I am not comfortable with. I do not like. It's this idea that as women, our vaginas are not okay the way they are. That the message that I take from it is that we need something to make it better, to help the pH, the taste, the odor, the this or that, etc. That is problematic in and of itself. First of all, I'll say, women, you are fine just the way you are. And, I oftentimes say this sort of expectation that we smell like a flower and all this. We're not flowers. We are humans. And I want women to understand that they are fine. Now, I also say in my TikTok videos in real life as well, that as women, yes, we from time to time may encounter some issues down there and other places in our body. That's when we go to the doctor. That's when we see our GYN, our family physician, etc. But this concept that we need a gummy, a supplement, a thing to make our vaginas or any other part of us better along this line is problematic to me, and I don't agree with it.
Yeah, some people might say, well, it can't hurt. I mean, if I'm still making sure to go to a doctor if there appears to be a serious issue, it certainly can't hurt to take this. What would you say about that?
Well, so I'm so glad that you brought that up, because the truth of the matter is, my issue with these supplements and many others is often we just don't have data, appropriate scientific data to say really what they actually do and what they don't do. And we do know that some supplements, in fact, many, to be honest with you, can interact with maybe other medications that you're on, may be problematic depending on your underlying medical conditions. Now, don't get me wrong. There are many supplements that probably are just fine and won't hurt. But the assumption that they won't hurt is a problem in and of itself. What I do say is, this is not a statement to say, don't ever take any supplement ever. What this is a statement about is if there's something that you are interested in, such as these supplements or any others, you need to talk to your doctor, bring them in and let your doctor give you some guidance about how this may work or not work for you.
Yeah, we were just talking here. The body is a beautiful thing, and it's amazing what it does on its own when you're overall generally healthy. So give yourself a little more credit. It's interesting. I saw on the packaging it said clinically studied, and I'm sure some people look at that and immediately think, okay, then it's clearly legitimate if it was clinically studied. But it's interesting how in this business that can mean any number of things. I'm sure you've seen it many times before.
Yes, and Jeanette, you're so right about that, because clinically studied, that phrase does sound very scientific. It does sound like rigorous and like sciencey, right? But the truth is exactly what you said. The definition of clinically studied really can vary and range. And sometimes when we get down to brass tacks and we find out actually what that meant, we realize there's really not much studying going on. Of course, every product is very different. But I would not, to your point, the phrase clinically studied should not make you say, oh, then yes, it's fine, it's great, it's good for me. That is not a go-ahead for that.
All right. Well, hopefully folks take this advice. It's a shame because our Kardashians have such a far reach, right? And a lot of young girls could get the wrong impression seeing a product like this. I know you post a lot of your videos talking about these